And now time for Christian Car Guy Theater. With today's episode, Jailhouse Justice, Part 6. Previously on Jailhouse Justice, Bad Brad has been recaptured and is back in the hospital. That's the good news. The bad news is that the nefarious Noir is now planning to move next door to Nahum's garage with Noir's business, a fine fit auto parts plant. You might wonder why Noir and his sidekick Lou aren't afraid of being recognized by Brad's daughter Christy, since they did, after all, kidnap her. But Noir and Lou had disguised themselves when they were with Christy, but that set up Noir's arch-rival crime boss Angelo and his lackey Vinny to take the rap for kidnapping Christy. And now some more good news. Sheriff Kramer is finally back from Denver, and his deputy Eustace, well, let's just say, Eustace, you got some splaining to do.
Well, Sheriff, welcome back. I just can't tell you how good it is for you to be back. Everybody missed you so much, especially me.
Well, thanks, Eustace. But I'm still flabbergasted about what's happened since I've been away. I mean, according to Georgina, you've had a jailbreak, a kidnapped dog, not to mention a kidnapped girl in Glenhaven that turns out to be Bad Brad's daughter. And now Brad is back in the hospital? Maybe I just need to go back to Denver, because I understand you handled more in the last week than we did in the last 2 years.
Well, Sheriff, I think you're still a little bit lightheaded from being a mile high. I mean, you were the one that locked up Brad to begin with before you left. And let me tell you, lots of prayers have been answered since you were gone. And now finally, the biggest prayer for me was my prayer for you to get back. Remember, I learned the hard way that the head that bows ducks the bullet? Yeah, it's HTB DTB. Yeah, it's a little shortcut for head bowed, duck bullet. Yeah.
Yes, I remember, Eustace. But I want you to know how proud I am of the job you did here. It takes great faith, Eustace, to believe God is with you in such life-and-death situations. And you confronting Brad again after he almost killed you took phenomenal courage, which really shows how your faith in the Lord is growing. But Eustace, let's talk about this kidnapping business. What in the world is this about Brad's daughter and some crime boss named Angelo and his minion Vinny? What do we have on them, and how are you keeping Christy safe?
Okay, Sheriff. Now, here's the scoop about Angelo and Vinny. Now, the state trooper guys say they were the ones who grabbed Christy and then took him.
As Eustace and the sheriff fall into the Noir's trap to go after Angelo and his minion Vinny, the Noir himself has come to town to meet with Nahum about purchasing the property for their new fine-fit auto parts plant next to Nahum's garage. Howdy there, fellers. I'm guessing you must be Mr. Blackwood.
Good morning. Call me Eldon. And this here's my assistant, Otto. Sure is a peaceful place here. It's all right if I call you Nahum?
You betcha, young feller.
Nahum. Were you named after the Old Testament prophet or the Nahum of Capernaum, Peter's hometown?
Boy, howdy, you know your Bible there, Eldon. My mama was so fascinated by that story in the Bible where, you know, those friends lowered the man through the roof at Capernaum so Jesus could heal him. She loved that story so much she even fancied that man's name to be Nahum. Since Capernaum in Hebrew means Nahum's village, naturally, when I came along, well, Nahum it was.
Yeah, that's quite a story. Jesus caught everyone by surprise when he told that crippled man his sins were forgiven, even before Jesus healed him, especially the Pharisees. Those Pharisees don't like Jesus too much, you know, but I can see why your mother loved it. And speaking of loving it, you know, Nahum, that property over there is the perfect acreage for what we need for a completely pollution-free fine-fit auto parts plant. And hey, it would make a great addition to the Beaver County employment possibilities. We're talking 125 jobs here.
125 jobs? Well, if that don't beat all. Sounds great, Eldon. By the way, my friends, they kind of call me Nahum. That's the way my mama pronounced it. I'll bet you say it the Bible way.
Yeah, that's right, Nahum. Nahum is the Hebrew pronunciation. Nahum is more Americanized. But when in America, Nahum it is.
It's a real pleasure to meet a man that knows his Bible. Looks like the Noir has Nahum eating right out of his hand. Later that day, the Noir and Lou discuss their strategy.
Gee, boss, it's like taking candy from a baby with this Nahum character. Hey, where did you get all that Bible stuff? I didn't know you knew nothing about any of that.
Yeah, Christianese. I spotted that cross on his sign, and with a name like that, hey, I figured fish in the barrel. Sea of Galilee fish at that. I told you, I'm a genius.
Hey, boss, you'll have that alley chick in a week, tops. I guarantee it.
Ha! Allie Perkins. She's just a means to an end. It's her grandfather, Bob Perkins, I need. You know, years ago, he invented a rubber compound that lasts twice as long as conventional rubber, tires, wiring insulation, and things like that. I could have made millions. But he wouldn't share the plans with anyone. He said it would never, biodegrade, and it would hurt the environment. Please.
A real tree hugger. Hey, boss.
Yeah, I tried and tried to get the formula out of him. I even put the squeeze on his son. 15 years ago, I was trying to make his son, Bob Jr., an offer he couldn't refuse. And he and his wife were killed trying to get away. Ran off the road. That's why Allie lives with her grandparents. Yep, Bob Jr. should have cooperated. But Bob Perkins Sr. never had a clue what happened. So I just figured I'd bide my time till that little girl, Allie, and Bob got close. And I think the time has come, you know what I mean? I think this will be a great negotiating tool.
Meanwhile, Jimmy, hearing that the sheriff is back, figures he can finally get his Jeep back from Eustace and stops by to pick it up.
Hey, Sheriff, we're all so glad you're back. I know you guys must be busy catching up, but Eustace, can I finally get the keys back to my Jeep?
Eustace?
Well, that's right. Ixnay on the Jeep. That's right, Sheriff. Well, I was commandeering vehicles. I had to. It was within my rights as a sworn officer of the law. It's right here in the police manual, Article 6. Let's see. It says here, I'll find it for you, Sheriff. Just give me a second.
It's okay, Eustace. You did a great job while the sheriff was gone. But can I get my keys?
Sure, Jimmy. Here you are. Thank you.
Jimmy cranks up his Jeep and Fernando fuel injector starts spraying.
Hey, you guys under the hood, you ought to let me pray for a change, huh? My prayers could inject some much-needed reverence around here.
Just what are you employing, Buster?
Yo, time attention. Hey, when did we get a full injection system?
Oh, sí, muy gracioso. Very funny, very funny. Well, it's no wonder we get into all the trouble we do. Mosley Motor Oil and Gracie Gas Tank. The way you gringos approach the Lord, never one single thee or thou. No reverence. Not right, not right.
Tune in next month for the next exciting episode of Jailhouse Justice, right here on Christian Car Guy Theater. Now, here's Danny Dipstick and Randy Radiator to review today's episode.
Randy, it would appear that everyone in this episode is on a blind date. Not looking good.
You're right, Daddy. Deception is running rampant. The sheriff and Eustace think Angelo and Vinny are Christie's kidnappers. Nahum thinks Mr. Blackwood is a Christian. Mr. Nahum doesn't even know it's not Mr. Blackwood, but the Noir, and he's certainly up to no good. Then there are all the Carputs taking sides in a ridiculous argument. The scary thing is that in my life and in your life, Danny, this example doesn't even scratch the surface of the deception we really live under, which is the very reason we need to cling to the only truth we know, the Bible, and offer our prayers to the one who is the truth. I can hardly wait to see how the Lord works through this deception. He always seems to find a way, Daddy.
Randy, that Noir character's asset seems to be his liability. Get it, Randy? His liability. I can hardly wait to see what happens.
Well, you have to wait till next month, Danny, to see if they write in a prescription for an emergency defibrillator. Defibrillator. Say goodbye, Daddy.
See you later, Radiator.